Our council on Niger Major convened, and it was decided that I, together with a small force, should come to Earth and retrieve our leader's ashes. It took many years of abductions before we could construct the human form. We now have colonies in England and Australia, and over the years we have and will continue to colonise the Earth with Nigels. Pick and his men will live like kings for their efforts. I am growing old, Nigel, and you must take my place as leader of our people. Indeed, when we get home, your mother and I will be given our own craft and a lifetime supply of provisions, and we will travel the universe seeking out new civilizations and having wonderful adventures. Disappearing into infinity just like we've always dreamed about. You are the future now, Nigel. You must leave your friends now and come with us to lead your people.
As Nigel Senior was speaking, nobody saw a dark shape on the edge of the woods, creeping closer to the assembled crowd. One of the Nigerians saw it first and let out a scream. As he moved, the shape leapt into action. It was the black dog of Bungay. It had red eyes and huge teeth, and it seemed like flames encircled its body. It ripped through the Nigerians, and pretty soon their bodies were spread all around. Pick's crew made to run off, and Nigel and his crew sprang into action. "Bloody Aussies!" Nigel screamed, and the force within him gave him the strength of 5 men, with Jimmy at his side and Billy and Buddy chipping in with a kick and a punch here and there. The Aussies were soon overcome. While the battle was raging, the black dog had leapt onto the stage and brought the huge wooden figure on top of Nigel Senior and Nigella. Nigel sprang onto the stage, and together with Jim managed to move the statue away. It was too late. The damage had been done. The torches around the stage had toppled over, and the statue and stage were both on fire. The casket rolled towards Nigel, and grabbing it, he then held it tightly. The black dog sprang from the stage and disappeared into the woods. Nigel looked at the charred bodies of his parents lying on the ground, and with tears rolling down his face, he acted on a sudden impulse to gather together the charred remains. His friends were there beside him. "Put them in here," Nigel ordered, opening the casket. As they gathered the remains together, Billy stood up and pointed.
"Look over there."
Coming towards them were a group of men with torches and guns.
"Don't let them get away."
Billy shouted. It was Ned and some men from the village. Pick and his gang had recovered their senses and were making for their cars. They were quickly surrounded by Ned and his fellow villagers. Ned approached Nigel.
"What the hell's going on here, Nige?"
He inquired.
"We saw the lights from the village and guessed something was afoot."
"It's a long story, Ned. I promised you a scoop, and you'll get it, but not now. We need to rest up. I'll see you tomorrow. Get those men to the police station and tell them they tried to steal the ashes. These are the real ones here. By the way, how did the match go?"
"Is that all you're thinking about when you're holding the ashes in your hand?"
Ned laughed.
"It's good news. We're in a winning position. We need 210 to win with 8 wickets left. We'll get them tomorrow."
The following day, it was all over the village about the night's activities, and Nigel, still shaken, was in Ned's office. Together they printed the story, and Nigel deliberately omitted the fact that the casket contained his parents' ashes. When it went national, Nigel and his friends were summoned to Lord's. It was the day after England had secured victory by 3 wickets. Together, in front of the Lord's Committee, the group were presented with life membership of Lord's, and the Prime Minister, who was also present, gave them medals. Nigel asked for the fake casket as a memento, and his wish was granted. Pick and his gang were sentenced to 10 years in prison and deported back to Australia. After 2 weeks or so had gone by, Nigel started to assess his life. He knew he now owned a house and a cottage and had some good friends as well, but something was still missing in his life. He knew that Janine still held the key to his heart and wanted to unlock it, but before that he had to find out about his body. Did he have any alien body parts? So he went to London and was rigorously examined by 2 doctors in Harley Street. They found no sign of any foreign parts in his body, but found that he did have some super intelligence, something they said he had inherited from his parents. Nigel was relieved, and also, after working with a psychiatrist, felt in a position to ask Janine to be his wife. She was delighted with his proposal and said yes, with one stipulation. She didn't want to leave the village that she had grown up in, and Nigel agreed to this request. Nigel called his friends together a day or so later, and they all sat in the garden wondering what was going on.
I have an announcement to make.
Nigel said rather pompously.
I have asked Janine to be my wife.
And she turned you down?
Billy cut in.
No, she didn't. She said yes.
Countered Nigel.
Well done, Nige.
Everyone chorused.
Where will you live?
Jim asked.
I'm coming to that.
Said Nigel.
We have decided to live here in the cottage because Janine doesn't want to leave her roots in the village.
What roots do you mean? Like an allotment?
Jim asked.
Idiot.
Buddy said.
It's like family and ancestors and all that. May I continue now?
Nigel asked tersely.
I would like you all to accept a gift from me and find out if it is acceptable. I want to give you my house.
What, a real house?
Billy gasped.
I've never lived in a house. If you're sure, Nige, it's okay by me.
The other 2 also agreed to accept Nigel's gift.
Can we come and visit, Nige?
Asked Jim.
Of course, as many times as you like. You're all my family.
Nigel replied. The date was set for the wedding. It would be on September the 16th, which was Janine's birthday, and they would be married in the little village chapel with countryside all around. Nigel didn't want to make it a large do. He wasn't used to large gatherings, but if he knew Ned correctly, he would have the whole village present. Before the wedding, Nigel had the deeds to the house handed over to his 3 friends, and after much hassle they moved into their grand abode. One day, while sitting in the garden of their new house, Billy turned to Buddy and asked him what he thought Nigel would like for a wedding present.
I've been thinking about that.
Buddy replied.
I know just the thing.
Billy began.
Look, are we, or are we not, members of Lords?
Yeah, go on.
Buddy replied.
Well, it would be an easy exercise for us to go down to Lords with Nigel's replica casket and exchange it for the real one. Just think what a gift that would be, considering what's inside it.
There's one problem.
Billy countered.
We have to get someone to engrave the names of the current winners on the fake casket. I know it's pretty much a cinch replacing it apart from that. Remember Uncle Joe and all those people who brought brass, silver and gold for him for engraving?
Buddy replied.
Well, some of it was nicked, but some was legit. With all the contact we've got, I'm sure we can find him, and he must know what we've been up to.
Let's do it. We're down Nigel's next weekend, so he won't suspect anything.
Said Billy.
We'll have to include Jim. He's back tomorrow.
Using their exclusive grapevine of cousins, uncles, etc., it took the twins 3 days to locate Uncle Joe's whereabouts. He lived with his sister on a caravan site in Wisbeach, Cambridgeshire. A train to March and a bus ride into Wisbeach and a few questions as to the exact location soon had them knocking on the door of a six-berth caravan. The door opened and a wizened old man with a ruddy complexion stood before them.
Who be you?
He inquired.
It's Buddy and Billy.
Buddy answered.
Not Florrie's boys.
Yes, came the reply.
Must be 10 years or so since I seen you boys. Come in, come in.
Beckoned old Joe.
Martha, look who it be.
The boys entered and were immediately jumped upon by a large Alsatian.
Get down.
Ordered Joe.
He be all right. He won't hurt you.
Martha appeared and greeted them.
How did you find us? Contacts from the family.
Billy replied. Over coffee and some sandwiches, the four reminisced about the old days, with Joe and Martha talking about their times on the road and the twins talking about their recent adventures.
Look, Uncle, we've tracked you down because we need some engraving done.
Billy announced.
Are you up for it? Well, it's been a few years now, but I ain't lost the knack. I reckon I can do a job for you.
Joe replied.
We haven't got the item yet, but we'll come back in a week, and here's a payment on account,
said Buddy, placing 5 £20 notes on the table.
Thanks.
Old Joe said, and the twins made their exit. Much to Nigel's displeasure, he was at the cottage with Janine discussing the upcoming wedding plans, and contrary to his wishes, he knew this would not be a small affair with just a few friends, because Janine had already invited 109 guests, had booked the church and the reception in Beccles and picked out her wedding dress, and had 4 bridesmaids thrown into the equation as well. They were now discussing the flowers and the catering. All Nigel wanted was to see his friends this weekend and reminisce for a few hours about the adventure they had had.
You know it's only a few weeks now, Nigel, and we haven't decided on the food and drink or what flowers to get.
Janine whined, as women do.
I'm sure whatever you decide will be delightful. You should just go shopping with your friends and have a great day.
Nigel replied.
You know our friends are coming up this weekend.
Oh, very well,
Janine replied, with the thoughts of beautiful flowers and tasty morsels whirling around in her head.
How much shall I spend?
She inquired.
We've run over budget as it is, so it's not going to make any difference what you spend. I'll just take it out of your pocket money after we're married.
Nigel laughingly replied. Janine cut him a scornful glance.
Good, that's settled then.
Nigel concluded.
Where's the future Mrs. Nutkin?
Buddy asked, as the 4 friends sat in the garden at the cottage, all united again.
Oh, she's sorting out the finishing touches.
Nigel replied.
You know the end of Lord of the Rings, where they sail off to the land of the elves? Well, this place down here reminds me of that.
Jim piped up.
Yeah, and you must be that fat little hobbit that goes with them.
Replied Buddy, and everyone laughed.